Hello and welcome back to Dungeons and Dragons. We are here after a little bit of a break, but that's fine. Hello, everybody. Say hi to the viewers. Viewers, say hi to the everybody.
Hello, hello.
That was a little bit loud. I'm just going to turn things down a little bit. There we go.
Greetings, puny mortals.
Nice and audible.
Yes. Now, as we said before, it's been a couple of weeks, and today's recap's going to be a little bit weird because it's been a while since we have met up with these particular characters on this particular game. Because our last game, of course, which was I think 4 weeks ago, was our Halloween special. Which, if you have not checked it out, it is still on Twitch, on the Twitch VOD for a couple of weeks yet, and it will be going up on YouTube just as soon as I get my act together. So, before we get started, let's go ahead and introduce our lovely players. Let's go ahead and start with Jen. Who are you and who are you playing this evening?
I'm Jen Winterrose. I'm also known as the Swedish Geekball in several places, and I play Kritha and her giant pet frog, Stinky.
Yes, you do, and yes, he does. Gail, who are you? Who are you playing?
Hi, I'm Gail or Olivia, and I am playing Echo, the goblin monk cleric who's just here in this war to make friends, guys.
Seems like the perfect place to find friendship. Yes, maybe the true war or the true victory was the friends we made along the way. Jeff, who are you? Who are you playing?
Yes, hello, I'm Jeff Holland. I play Calder Creed, resident sorcerer, and that introvert that got adopted by a horde of extroverts and just doesn't know what to do.
To be clear, I'm pretty sure Calder is the one who initiates, like, bringing folks like Meepo into the fold.
No, he adopts them and just informs them later.
And I, of course, am Rob, your illustrious DM of the evening. I will be playing everybody else, including, hopefully, perhaps, some characters that some of you who get the real deep Forgotten Realm cuts might recognize. We will see. So for today's summary, I'm gonna be a little bit scanter than usual because, like I said, it's been like 6 weeks since we've played these particular characters. I know that we began the session with a sort of difficult situation between you and the Grey Dwarves, where you had just killed a lot of their animals and beaten up a lot of their people, and we were in a bit of a tense negotiation situation, which did not, unfortunately, devolve into a duel between a Duergar despot and Calder, though we definitely still need to record that sometime outside of stream. And I believe the end result of that encounter was that, A, you're taking this particular Grey Dwarf that you saved from being killed by Calder's spell, that he's yours now, and they sort of wash their hands of him. Secondly, that he was not super, like, interested in an alliance with a race that he considers to be his, what are they called? Oppressors? For several centuries. Yes. But you did at the very least get him to listen for a little while, and at the very least leave the Forge of Fury, which is now secured for the Boulder Shoulder clan.
Yeah. At least the immediate forge area is. We don't know about the whole mountain.
Right. And I believe after that, it was Victoire, who mentioned that she was going to be staying at the forge and tuning it up and getting it ready, because of course the next step is basically to start moving Boulder Shoulder dwarves en masse into this highly fortified mountain citadel, and making weapons with the Forge of Fury, making goods with the Forge of Fury. So M is unfortunately not with us this evening. They are right here in the room with me, but not feeling very well. So everybody, thoughts and prayers and all that other good stuff. So I know I missed a bunch of stuff. What did I miss? Let's go backwards from where I started. Let's go with Jeff first. And again, this has been a while, so don't feel like you're under a time crunch here. What's something that I missed from that very, very quick recap of a session 6 weeks ago?
I worked the bellows with a crab. I I threatened a uh, a a Duergar war boss, which I'm like a good 70% certain I could kill, and otherwise I am formulating plans that involve turning Echo into a Tyrannosaurus Rex because it just feels right.
I had forgotten that you also reforged the Durgadin blade. Durgadin, who has inhabited the Forge of Fury and is now sort of powering it with his essence, is able to, through a group effort, is able to once again temporarily leave the forge and inhabit a weapon for Kreetha when she goes on her adventures. I had forgotten about that.
Yep.
Yes,
Gale.
finally firing that age-old Chekhov's gun.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely 100% assumed that all the time. I knew it from the beginning. That was fully planned. It was not ad-libbed at all. Gale, what's something else that I missed from my recap there?
Okay, so we had the big crafting session. It took like 6 hours, and I believe at the very end of it, Echo and Calder both passed the fuck out because we didn't make our con saves.
Not
And
at
like-
all.
And like Kreetha and Vic need to take a long rest or they're pushing exhaustion. But it's we made the weapon, and I need to
I
make
wasn't even pushing exhaustion though. I made a 20 on that roll.
Yes.
And you woke up just before this happened. So Kreetha's probably still kind of okay, but very tired. Like, it was still 6 to 8 hours of constant work.
Sorry, keep going.
I just want to make a point of clarification that at the end of last session, I had said that Echo had given away or used up or threw into a forging ingot all of his holy weapons, which is true, but that doesn't actually prevent him from doing most of his cleric spells. You only need a holy weapon
Holy
as
symbol?
a spell focus. Yeah, holy symbol. You only need it for spells where you're relying on that to make up the material component. So I've been looking through his spells. It's not going to be as much of a hindrance as I thought, but it's still, he can't use some of his abilities in some of his spells because he done gave away all those symbols.
Yes,
Can
the
you
holy
have a
symbol.
new one made? Can you have a new one made?
Probably.
Or, I
He's
mean,
never done it.
depending on the deity, you can probably buy one somewhere. But yes, it does mean that you have to rely on material components way more than you had to when you had the symbols.
And he just straight up cannot do the
Turn
channel
undead
divinity turn undead because you need to present your holy symbol to do that.
This is why you wear your holy symbol, not just carry it.
He had a medallion and he had a coin on either hand, but he gave the medallion to the Duergar to help sell their story, and he put the coins into the new weapon and got his advantage on crafting it. It was fine. He meant to do all of that.
Echo hasn't been a cleric for a super long time, so yeah, this might just be chalked up to inexperience. Jen, what is something else from that many, many weeks ago session that I missed?
Well, I mean, I came back as a cleric with like a leveling cleric, and it just occurs to me I have no idea what my holy symbol is at all. We never talked about that.
For the time being,
I'm like what? Like I'm cleric forging.
Durgadin.
But it was Durgadin, so like for the time being, I guess it's the new sword I crafted.
Is it his maker's mark?
So for the time being, the Durgadin weapon itself will function as a holy symbol. However, yes, this is a dwarven sort of thing. Simply a stamp on some leather or on some metal, like kind of like a guild mark almost, showing that you are a craftsman of Durgadin's line. That would serve as a holy symbol for a forge cleric, yeah. Or if you have a favorite like a favorite hammer, like a favorite like making things hammer.
I may ask after all of this to actually make a special hammer with Durgadin when he goes back to the forge, or if he's still with me and helps me like before he goes back to the forge and make a special hammer. Because I feel like that's really dwarven. And like
I feel like that
making
won't be a
special house
difficulty. Yeah.
with like
Yeah.
Maker's Mark. Yeah. I like that. Okay, sorry. So yeah, I came back with a couple of like a level in cleric, so that was fun. Spent a lot of time. I was the one doing the forging, which was pretty awesome. Like this tiny, I'm growing some guns, y'all.
Yeah, Kreitha's got to have some arms on her after that month of forging with
Yeah.
Vic, and now this.
So after all of the forging thing, we're really coming back around to the fact that we're going to have to go face King Boulder Shoulder. And I am 100% aware that let's be honest, Kreitha is a spy. Technically, she's a double spy at this point. She doesn't realize that, though. Like, she doesn't really saw anything wrong with it. I mean, she's goblin. She grew up doing this. She's 5 years old. So, the idea that Boulder Shoulder's gonna be fucking mad at her
We'll
hurts
see.
my little heart.
We'll see.
We'll see. The secret's not out yet.
There's a lot of ways this could
Not
go.
out yet, but I feel like it's really easy to come out since stuff's been happening. Because she just straight out wrote to Jarlaxle. Not that Jarlaxle had any fucking clue what she was saying. But the other thing is if he goes after Echo for adopting the
we'll see.
We'll see.
Duergar.
We'll see.
Because the whole thing with Galvin is that he's now been ostracized from his people. He's not considered one of them anymore. But there was the deal with Arnon that he would consider their offer more legitimate if we were able to take Galvin, have him speak with the king of the Shield Dwarves, and return unharmed.
But we did talk a lot about how a Boulder Shoulder might be pretty pissed about that. This is something that we have been ruminating
Out of
on
character.
Yeah.
Yes, all of that was out of game.
So, but what I'm saying is that happens, he's gonna have a really angry little Kreitha on his hands because she won't stand for that.
And that actually is a fantastic segue. That's a great segue since that's where we're headed right now. So I'm going to go ahead and jump us over to the game board.